Hey Collective, it's Al and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be set for the weekend, so I thought I'd make it a big topic. And the topic I decided to focus our energy on was on the gamble, the biggest gamble that we can make in our lives at this point. It's the subject of love, and taking that leap of faith in order to find it and to preserve it in a time where there's so much uncertainty. And one of the things that caught my attention that even brought this up is that I was watching The Palmer over at Leo King, and he had made a comment about traveling and how there might come a point in the future. Now, keep in mind that he's been right about pretty much every single thing that he said, but he made a comment about how in the future there might become a point where those who don't have the shot, who refuse to have those shots, are going to get to a point where they can't travel, because if they travel by air, then they can make it so that you can't leave or enter an area without having them. And so it started to make me remember what some of the dreams I had about some of the things that might be coming down the road. And I realized that we're all waiting for the perfect time. We're waiting for things to get better without realizing that it still hasn't gotten to where it needs to be for that to happen. And so things will deteriorate more and more. So the question became to me, what would I say to the collective as anybody who's a truth sayer or a turquoise leader about the future? And I would say that if you have your eye on somebody, if there's an energetic signature that is matching your vibration and is pulling your attention to them, I would recommend making the gesture at this time. Because Palmer made a very good point about that. Because let's say that I know I'm going to have kids in the future, and that's one of the reasons I'm not going to get the shot. And I'm willing to go down that. If I end up in a concentration camp or whatever it is that they're going to try to do to make me do something that's bad for my body, I'm going to fight it. But that's me. But let's say that my partner, somebody that I run into in the future, has gotten it. I would immediately even more triple down on not getting it, because I want my kids to grow up with at least one of us. And so something, heaven forbid, happened to my partner, which I'm not saying it will, it won't, but let's say it did, then at least one of us in the situation would be able to know that no matter what, I could take care of what was coming next for the children. And it was a very, very dark topic, but in a very, very loving way. I remember just thinking, well, this is the time that we take these leaps of faith. I know that we're all waiting for the perfect opportunity. You're very busy right now for a lot of divine masculines, I see that. And a lot of divine feminines are literally looking at the situation and wondering if they're ever going to have a partner, or if it's just going to be a situation of their higher calling, duty, prevailing over booty. Booty as in bounty, not booty as in bounty or bow wow. Although both. But you see what I'm saying. And it's a very high vibrational issue that we all are addressing right now. And it's one of those things that can bring people down. But when you look at the joy of what love truly is, it answers all things. It can make any dark cloud disappear with the spark of love from the opposing person. And when we endeavor to start planning our futures, we understand that many of us will go through, but there are many that are not going through. And I sat and I wondered how many of them waited too long. How many of them thought that there would be a tomorrow, or that there would be a better situation, and maybe didn't ask the person out that they wanted to ask, or didn't flirt with the people that they're attracted to. Like, y'all know me and Anderson Cooper. But, well, it's one way. But the point is, how many of them didn't take the initiative to reach out and won't get another shot? And it's a really I could have gone in a very dark way, but I remembered something that I thought was very inspirational for me, which is that when you learn lessons early in life, then what you can do for the others around you is to set the example. And I remember thinking about what it must be like for the divine masculines and feminines who have been on this dance, a ballet, if you will, back and forth throughout pretty much time, where there's been overly toxic masculinity and even toxic femininity, and they've been having to do this tug-of-war thing. And I realized something that I had said earlier that sparked my interest now, which was I had mentioned that sometimes when people don't get along, or that are being resistant to the change that's needed by a higher sense of purpose or calling, then something has to be introduced into the environment that will bring them onto the same page very quickly. And it made me think of the earthquake that I have a sensation that is coming, and how that may bring people together, or how I was thinking about this particular P word, the PA word, the pan word, that's going around, the frying pan. that everybody's going through right now, and how that brings us an opportunity in a strange way to overcome our fears very quickly and understand that if we don't do this now, we may not get a chance to do it ever. And I thought, instead of letting that weigh me down, I would just think of it in the glory of the joy and what the story tale or fairy tale ending is to such thinking. Because to a wise man or a wise woman, that understanding removes the last grains of fear and makes the person realize, hey, this might be my single shot to be happy for the rest of my life. Am I going to take the chance, or am I going to let this opportunity pass me by? And I realized that while we had all been waiting for the perfect moment to do what we need to do to find love or whatnot, the divine universe has been handing it to us this entire time. It's this pan thing. It is the opportunity. It brings all love into an equilibrium. It allows everybody to meet at eye level because they understand that to actually take the chance on someone now is a romantic gesture in itself. In a world that teaches us it's to be afraid and to fear getting close to people you don't know, the idea of picking that person out of a crowd and going, you're worth my gamble, and having that returned with the other person going, yeah, I agree. And there begins a fairy tale. But we've been so bogged down with the negativity that it never dawned on us that this was the right time. I know for myself, I've been sitting here and I've been thinking about the question of duty over booty, and not the graphic booty like booty, bound chicka bow wow kind of way, but the booty of bounty, which is the ultimate bounty one can have. It's not material, it's emotional and material and abundance of all kinds, spirituality and all that. But I've been stuck in this state of, well, now what? I'm not going to be able to travel, probably. I'm not going to be able to do a lot of things that it's not out of fear. It's just that I know me. I'm not going to put something in my body that's not for my highest highs. And I was thinking about what I would do, knowing now what I know today about that this is the right opportunity. Would I share it so that others out there could have the opportunity to hear what I'm saying and finally get that little nudge from the divine universe and clarity, and have them go, oh, it is the right time. This is the fairy tale ending I always wanted. This is the ultimate chance in life. This is our opportunity to get rid of the fear and understand that it'll just get smaller and smaller, this world. And it's going to get more and more complicated at times, not Debbie Downer, but in reality, for us to sometimes meet. And then if you have two very powerful people, for whatever reason, doing two different very powerful things, send roses. Send a card. Do something that makes the gesture to the other person, if you can. And then the other person settles. Not settles like as the person, but they settle their energy and understanding that, hey, I'm communicating with another human being who I would love to get to know. And it's actually in a very romantic setting. This is a very romantic time if you think about it. You literally have the chance of an opportunity, or a chance of an opportunity. You have the opportunity of a lifetime to have that moment of realization where this may be it. Who do I want to be with? Who do I want to transition to whatever happens next? Do I want to run the risk of my chair being pulled during musical chairs and me be unhappy, materially very wealthy? I'm using that as an example because a lot of people can identify with that dream. To be there materially wealthy, but on my own, and I don't know, upset or bitter that I didn't take the chance when I had it, and then get to the gates and go, so, how's the fairy tale? Did you take the chance? And you sit there and go, no, I was afraid. Oh, better luck next time. Or on the receiving end of that, the divine feminines. Flirt. This is the perfect opportunity to flirt. It doesn't matter what other people are going to say. It's the opportunity to, wink at individuals that your vibration is attracted to right now. You never know. And more importantly, it's not like being desperate. What you're doing is you're letting the universe know that you're open to receive love. And more importantly, you never know if the person that you're attracting energetically is the one that's meant for you. That's why it's called a partnership and a divine union, is because it's like magnets. That For a long time, there's friction. Oh, I don't want to do this. I don't blah, blah, blah. This person, blah, 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 blah. And all of a sudden, one day, something like a bell. And you go, and then bounce, chicka, bow, wow, and all that fun stuff. But I thought I'd bring that message to you guys because I really was looking at this from the wrong perspective. I was looking at this like I was letting the negativity of what truly is going around, which is all valid. I mean, we all have a right to worry, and we all have a right to our opinions. But are we being handed the key to the gate that unlocks our future by just making the reality check gesture? The reality check gesture. We're going to leave this in. I love when I talk weird. Are we going to take the reality check that we're being given in this conversation and turn that key to the future of whatever comes your way? Because in the end, in this storyline, in our storylines, in our fairy tales, we end up with someone that the divine universe says is who you should be with if this is the end. If this is the beginning, which I think it is, of course, I know that, then isn't this a romantic way to have gotten together? And the end of days, when everybody was screaming the end of days, you two met eyes, and you found each other, and you changed the world with your life. How romantic. Yeah. It's a different perspective, but it's a perspective I think is worth sharing. Take the gamble, Divine Masculines. Let the Divine Feminine know that you're even interested. Send a text, for Pete's sake. But allow yourself to get the hint. This is the right time. It's being handed to you on a platter. If only you should open the lid and see that it says destined in the stars. Have a good day, guys. Bye.